Hello, everybody. Dave Neal here, stand-up comic and host of Bachelor Nation News. Cruel and unusual punishment. Rachel and Tino going through their breakup, and then Aven shows up like some weird Worldwide Wrestling Federation Jerry Springer moment and says, hey, Rachel, let's get out of here. Let's go have a cigarette out back. And it all takes place while Tino stands there flabbergasted. Now, people have mixed opinions on this, but at the end of this video, I'm going to share with you what Reality Steve just told me. Literally just sent me a voice message I'm going to play for you guys. Basically saying, look, the whole Aven situation was just a stunt. He doesn't care about Rachel, and it was just there to give Rachel a participation trophy. Those are my words. Which, again, is pretty insulting towards Rachel. Did they feel like they had to coddle her? Did they feel like her season was played out so badly that they had to create new collateral damage in humiliating Tino? After the show could have... The conversation spoke for itself. It was a brutal conversation. Did we need more? Well, when we talked to some alumni and what they had to say afterwards, they are pretty disgusted by what the producers did. Let me know what you guys think. Follow me on Instagram at DNeals. I'm going to be going live right after this at 10 a.m. today on Pacific Coast, patreon.com/Dave Neal. So check me out over there if you want more behind the scenes about how this is all transpiring. All right, let's jump right into it. So Reality Steve posted this earlier. Breaking spoiler news. He posted this about half an hour. Yeah, look at 4:30 p.m. yesterday. So half an hour before the show aired. Aven is at the After the Final Rose tonight, and he's going to ask Rachel to date post-show. I don't think Rachel knows he's there. Not sure I buy this. Seems being done more to give Rachel some happiness to end the show, a la Tyler Cameron asking Hannah Brown out on the After the Final Rose, which, of course, was pretty much just fabrication. It was fan fiction, really. So Reality Steve had this information before it happened. So when we watch Jesse Palmer go, oh my gosh, live TV, anything can happen. It's like, Jesse, we get it. You're not the producer. You're just reading script, but it's rubbish. It's completely fabricated, and it's kind of insulting. And I hope that Rachel has a good support system, but also importantly, I hope that Tino does too. I'm not saying Rachel deserved all the hate she got. I mean, I don't know if she got any extra hate than a normal lead gets, but she obviously was under a lot of scrutiny. But Tino cheated, admits to it, and deals with that in a way that a relationship in the breakup stages would go. What happens after that is Bachelor producers putting their foot on the scale of justice, I guess they think, and making a situation worse for the betterment of their ratings. So essentially, they're commodifying this breakup in a way that, just pure destruction. So anyway, we're going to get into what people have to say. Our teacher of the day here is Miss Justine. If you want to donate to our teacher of the day, you can pick any of these items on her Amazon wish list, buy them, and they'll get sent directly to her. Oh, but yeah, buy it. Look, $6 for a couple fun erasers right there and some other things. Help her in her classroom out. Teachers are underfunded, underappreciated, and we always are trying to help them out. Okay, so Nick Vial, small YouTuber Nick, said, whatever that was, I hated it. And others agreed. Chris Bukowski said that. This is the only time we're going to get Nick, Blake Horstman, and Reality Steve to all agree on the same thing. They all hated how it was done. In the response to that comment, someone said, Rachel says Tino was not apologetic, but he really was. I think she was out to hurt him and wanted him to suffer because of what he did. She sounded really hard to reason with, and she was twisting his words, which makes people beg the question, is that why he had the journal? To remind her of what she actually said. And look, we'll never get to the bottom of this. A lot of that was off camera, so we'll just never know. But moving forward, I guess we'll see what their track record becomes. Will he somehow be a part of the Bachelor franchise, or is he done for good? As I find out right now, Tino Franco's father, Joe Franco, is actually on a podcast. Now, he's not under any sort of contract, so we'll have to see what the father has to say regarding what went down last night. Here's what Olivia Caridi said. Of course, we know she was stranded on a sandbar during her season of The Bachelor, and she was made out to be a villain, even though she seems like quite a lovable, present, compassionate human. Someone said this, the producers are bad people. They seem to want to inflict pain above all else. Olivia responded, absolutely. Things like what they did on that stage scar people for life. Sad and preventable. Now, I read some comments on Twitter from people going, what? somebody leaves with his ex is going to scar him for life. I think people make light and don't quite understand public shaming. I think they don't quite understand the ostracizing that can happen and how that's probably bigger than whatever breakup a relationship could have. It's kind of like, here's the community you're not a part of. Get out. That's the biggest thing you can do to somebody. That's the biggest thing, is to kick someone out of a community. And what bigger way to do that than to walk Aven out and have him basically walk Rachel out in front of Tino. They could have let Tino exit 3 seconds before that moment happened and let him save face. Actually, Canetti said, I'm really, truly upset by the way that moment was handled. It was cruel. We can support Rachel and not absolutely publicly demoralize someone. Olivia responds 150%. This is what Reality Steve said last night as he watched it. Tino effed up. He cheated and didn't make things better for himself tonight. But doing this with Aven, like I told you would happen while Tino was still on stage, is baloney. It's malarkey, if you ask me. Hopefully, Rachel will see the light in the next couple days and realize this isn't real. Sorry, not sorry. Yeah, the second Rachel goes on Twitter and sees that this was all planned and contrived, she's going to possibly feel like she was made out, she was used as a pawn for their show, but she probably already realizes that. A counterpoint of view, somebody whose opinion I normally agree with, but hey, I'm all about us agreeing to disagree on things. Caitlin Bristow says, there used to be only 2 people in this world that I truly disliked. There's now 3. Kick Rock's Adam Levine. Again, I have my story about Adam Levine on the Dave Neal Show. And then she said, added a 4th tonight. I'm assuming that's Tino. And look, I don't think that's a fair shake to how things went down with Rachel and Tino. Tino cheated. We can admit that that is wrong. All the other things where Rachel said, explain yourself, and then he started to, and then she would go, how dare you? It's like, do you want the guy to explain himself or not? That's where I stand with it. I would have loved to actually hear his explanation, but we never quite got it. And we'll have to see in the coming weeks. My guess is when the dust settles for Tino, he's going to have a lot more talking he's going to want to do. If the fruit doesn't fall too far from the tree there with his father, and I say go for it. Keep talking. Keep sharing your truth, because that's all you have left at this point. Let's see here. BachelorNation.scoop had posted in defense of how disgusting it was with what happened to Tino, and someone goes, why has this become the pro Tino page? And my response to that is like, look, you can be against somebody cheating and also not think that they need to get absolutely eviscerated for it. I guarantee kissing someone, if you're in a relationship, absolutely. If your partner doesn't like that, that is absolutely means for a breakup. In some cases, people might say not. Depending on what your boundaries are in your relationship. I would think in my relationship, that would probably be like that would probably be enough trust broken. Like, I think we're elevated individuals where we can understand that. Now, with that said, that doesn't mean that it's a free hits on Tino, like he's some sort of just a beating toy here. So BachelorNation.scoop says, well, I'm not so pro Tino. He messed up completely, but I was really turned off by how the show decided to publicly humiliate him on national television in a room full of people so unnecessarily. I'm sorry, I'm not going to jump on the hate Tino train just because the show wants it that way. He's not innocent by any means, but no one deserves what they did to him. Just because someone messed up doesn't mean we have to root for their humiliation. Again, hold on. I'm going to get to what Reality Steve has to say in a second. Chris Randone says, I don't know who this Tino dude is, but hopefully he has a good support system and they set him up with therapy long term, because this is going to affect him mentally for a long time. Yeah, don't forget, Tino didn't make any money off of this. Blake, of course, no secret that Blake hates how producers manipulated his season of Bachelor in Paradise. Someone said, do you think they crossed the line last night having Aven come out with Tino just sitting there? So Blake said this. So I didn't watch this season, but I've gotten this a lot. Obviously hard to miss what happened last night. I think the show is effing horrible for what they did. We have known for a long time this show could give 2 Fs about contestants. Yes, Tino messed up, but that was a public stoning. The show and producers should be ashamed. I don't know how these people sleep at night. That was not about Rachel finding happiness with Aven. That was about destroying Tino and destroying a man on national TV. Rachel and Aven should be pissed too. That could have been a fun moment for the 2 of them, but instead they kept Tino on that couch and made it about him and not them. I hope Tino has a good support system and his family is holding him close. He has openly talked about his mental health, and if he hurts himself, these producers can only blame themselves. Wise words right there. So anyway, we got some other comments and let's get to Reality Steve's comments. I'm going to play them for you guys right now. Here's what Reality Steve exclusively told me, and you can read into this however you want. Leave a comment and let me know if you can piece this together. But here's what Reality Steve told me about what he found out and why this all transpired.
Here's what I'll say about Aven, and you can use this. That's fine. If I knew 30 minutes before the plan was that he was going to be on the show, I can't reveal sources, and I don't want to throw anyone under the bus, but if I knew it was happening, I think it's easy to maybe accept the fact that I know a little bit more.
Damn.
And I can just tell you, and you're just going to have to trust me when I say that Aven just did that because production asked him to and he agreed to, not because he really has an interest in dating Rachel post-show or anything like that. People have to trust me on this one, is the best way I can describe it. But I think my track record this season, the amount of things that I got right and told people that was going to happen before it was going to happen, even going into last night's finale with the Aven stuff, the commercial break before we met Zach's 5 women. I told you the name of the 5 women that he was going to be meeting.
And take your victory lap, Reality Steve. Take your victory lap. You called it. You have all these spoilers. Someone's literally in the producer's room. Clearly, whoever Reality Steve has as his insider, they are in the producer's area where it's pinned. At the 8:52 mark, Aven walks in and asks Rachel on a date. I mean, that's pinned. That's on paper, on wall. Someone printed that out. That exists on the storyboard. And so clearly he's either got producers, assistants, somebody big is on his payroll. Not payroll, because that would be illegal. You can't pay for someone to violate their contract, as we've learned. But very fascinating stuff.
Meeting, I think I'm pretty dialed in. And all I can say is Rachel had no idea he was showing up. And there's probably not going to be anything that comes about in this relationship. I doubt they even go out on a date.
Wow.
Because that's not what last night was about. It was about just giving the audience and Rachel some semblance that something good happens for her this season, since it was a train wreck for her.
Wild words from Reality Steve. Of course, you can go to realitysteve.com, and he's got his daily podcast updates. Very fascinating stuff. Yeah, Reality Steve called it. He announced who was going to be coming out on the show last night for the Zach's Bachelor reveal. He's announced a few other things. Look, I mean, clearly the guy's got a couple people on the old Rolodex giving him some good information. Let me know what you guys think about this story. Do you think it was worth it? Follow me on Instagram at DNeals. Patreon.com/Dave Neal. I'm going to be going live after this at 10 a.m. this morning. We'll see you over there for that. Talk to you soon. Bye, guys.